Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so stinking nervous. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. If this were the Spanish, what I learned this week, I'd be a little nervous. Because me cuesta mucho. That's kind of difficult. This, my friends, this I just love. I just love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. What I learned this week, last week. What I learned this week, last week. And, yeah, we're gonna rock it right through it, my friends. We're gonna rock it right through it. All right, if you'd like to give it a share, that would be cool. I am recording last week's What I Learned This Week because I was really busy. I have a piece of something. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Lauren. Sorry for picking my teeth on air here. I have a little something in my teeth. Alright, so today's actually going to be a day of Trace live streams. We had AMXweekly this morning. We have What I Learned This Week now. And then we have Lo que he aprendido esta semana in a little bit. So I got to record my Spanish episode as well. So, you're going to see me. Hopefully you saw me this morning. You're going to see me now. And hopefully you're going to see me here in a little bit. Talking about some Spanish. Because I do a lot better when people are watching. You know, it forces you to be on. So I figured I'd like to be on. Tres does mean 3. Lauren, Tres does mean 3. Alright, so that's it. I guess I'm gonna get cranking here because I got a lot of recording to do today. Eric Enrique Albright, welcome, my friend. Bienvenidos, mi amigo. Welcome, Eric Albright. Welcome, Joey Rivera. Bienvenidos, Joey Rivera. Some wrestling friends. Yes, as I was saying a minute ago, got a lot of recording today. Busy weekend, put me behind, so we're gonna crank it out. Sergio, good. Some people are starting to sign in here. Good, Sergio. What is this, 61? Sergio, Joey, Eric, Lauren, whomever else. Alright, I'm going to get cranking here. Radio silence. It's so awkward. Silence is good, but not when you're on camera. Not when you're in front of the microphone. Then silence is not good. Even like a second of silence is, it's not good. Alright, let's crank this out. Well, hello right back to Mitchell. Preston, thank you for tuning in, Preston. Preston, how did you come across the show? Send my hello back to Mitch. And I'm glad you're tuning in here, Preston. All right, so we're going to rock and roll with this week's What I Learned episode. All right, 1, 2, 3. Good morning or afternoon, my friends. Welcome to this week's edition of What I Learned This Week. Now, again, this is like the third time, I think, in like 6 times that What I Learned This Week was being recorded when it's actually last week. So what I'm going to talk about now is what I learned last week. What I learned this week, last week. What in the heck am I even saying? The point of this being, it is great content. It is great information. It is wisdom. It is wisdom that comes from books in these conversations that I'm so fortunate to have on my podcast. Be sure to go to charliespaniard.com, opt into my email list, and this PDF that I'm reading from, this guide, this leadership tool, this kick butt tool, this dominate your day tool, that's what you're going to get every Friday. I'm going to mail it out to you. And then I'm going to record the audio episode. And the reason that I'm recording the audio episode late, delayed on Monday, is actually, this is going to fall right into it, because I had to prioritize and execute. Where was I this past weekend? Last Thursday and Friday, I was in Washington, D.C. at the Muster event. Now, the Muster 005 is the live event of Extreme Ownership. So you've heard me talk about Jocko Willink, Leif Babin, my friend Dave Burke, all those guys. I look up to them, I read about them, I study them, both content, but also how they build and how they evolve their business. I was fortunate enough last week to go to their live event, to meet Jocko and Leif and see Dave again and meet the other members of the team, as well as a whole slew of other people who are just like me, who love getting up at the butt crack of dawn, who love doing burpees and calisthenics in an open field in the rain, who love reading books, who love talking wisdom, who love talking leadership. I was able to meet a bunch of them, and it was stinking awesome. And I'm looking forward to doing more of it in the future. So that's why I was a little bit delayed. Then I went to a wedding on Friday night, woke up, created the PDF, and then thought, you know what? It's time to prioritize and execute, Spaniard. It's time to have family time. It's time to exercise. Work's getting pushed to the back burner. We will record this episode on Monday, so that's exactly what we're doing. Now, I took a break on Friday from the book Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus to talk about my experience at the Muster in D.C. I'm going to resume this week. I already did with the AMX that came out this morning with the book Own the Day, Own Your Life. Going to talk about some of the Spanish episode, the interview that I did this past week. And we're going to wrap it all up with a bunch of energy and wisdom for you, my friends. So let's kick it off with the bullet point number 1. Remember, you can have this PDF, go to my site, opt in, and I'll mail it to you. It's your guide to global, to daily domination, to touch on the theme of the book I'm currently talking about, Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. So chapter 1 in this book, chapter 1, water, light, and movement. Now, I want to touch on this for several reasons. First and foremost, it's simple. Water, light, movement. It's free. Water, light, movement. We all have it at our disposal. It's extremely incredible. It also represents this idea that a little bit repeated over a long period of time equals big results. This book is about owning the day, owning your life. Incrementally, day by day. And when you break that down, it's hour by hour. Break it down, it's minute by minute. It's the choices, the consistency of the choices that you make. And in this chapter, Aubrey Marcus is talking about how you wake up and how you start your day every day. Water, light, and movement. He's saying rehydrate yourself. He's saying put yourself in light so that your circadian rhythm says, okay, guys, girls, it's time to get up now. And also movement to get your blood flowing, to wake your body up. It's so stinking simple. How many of you will do it? How many of us do it? Probably not that many. Why? Because we think, well, just this little bit today, what difference is going to make? But when you add up 1,000 days, right? When you add up 100 days or even 5 days, you're going to start to see those benefits. And it really is as simple as it is. It was on my way back from my last fight in Brazil. I read this book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I read it, and it was the first time that I ever really intentionally, constructively thought about how do I wake up in the morning? How do I kick my day off? And then as I got more into reading and speaking and listening to guys like Jocko and Joe Rogan and Tim Ferriss and all these guys that I listen to, I realized, wow, how you wake up really sets the tone for your day. So I became much more aware of it. And then I continue reading, and you realize how very important it is to start your day with that intention, with discipline, consistency, rest, energy. It all contributes to just that. Chapter 1, water, light, and movement. Next bullet point I want to talk about is chapter 3. Holy moly, holy macaroni, more fat, less sugar, or don't eat. Again, this is coming from the book Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. So I grew up loving sugar. I love me some soda. I love me, or pop, where I come from. I love me some pop. I love me some sugar cereal, some kids cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs, Fruity Pebbles, Lucky Charms, Frankenberry. Oh, just keep them coming. Frosted Flakes. Oh, just keep them coming. Tricks. Oh, just keep them coming. I can't stop. I didn't realize how bad sugar was for me. Your health, your teeth. Let's even think about your teeth. Start looking up, start Googling, start learning about the badness of sugar. And this book does a great job. So Aubrey presents how to optimize your day, optimize your life, really. And he offers these things, but with kind of a a very honest, here's what I think, here are the facts, develop what you think, and then do what you think is best. It's a really neat way of conveying this information. But read this chapter. Get this book, Own the Day on Your Life. Read this chapter and do a deep dive into why and how sugar is bad for you. And learn about refined foods and processed foods and what they contain, what they don't contain, the trickery on labels. This chapter really opens your eyes up such that I operate on this premise, sugar is bad, period. Avoid it at all costs. Okay, and then I kind of work backwards from that to make it more suitable to me, right? I'm not perfect. I don't eat perfectly. I still love me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I had it this past weekend. But I walk around with the awareness that sugar is bad, period. And then that guides my decisions. And how far I can get away from that line is dependent upon me, dependent upon what works for me. The next bullet point is the next Speak Spanish with Spaniard episode. Look, if you're an aspiring Spaniard speaker, if you're a fluent Spanish speaker, the only people this wouldn't pertain to is people who don't give a darn about Spanish. These episodes, Speak Spanish with Spaniard, probably aren't going to do much for you. But if you're a fluent speaker, you're going to enjoy the content because it is this content. It is this content. I am going to talk largely about this content, pero en español. If you're an aspiring Spanish speaker, tune in, get this guide in English in front of you, and follow along because it's going to give you context. And when you know the context of a situation, you're able to comprehend much better. For example, if we're in the kitchen and I say something to my 4-year-old daughter in Spanish, it has been such that over the last couple years, she has become attuned to the fact I'm in the kitchen, Daddy said something, it probably has something to do with us being in the kitchen. Or if I say the word comer, which means to eat, her ears are now tuned, eat, so her kind of eyes are on the lookout, her brain is on the lookout for a connector to something to eat. So that's why having this guide in front of you during the Spanish episodes is very helpful. The next bullet point, the next chapter I want to discuss quick here on Own the Day on Your Life is chapter number 5, Drive Time, Alive Time. How many of you out there right now, put your hand up. No, don't put your hand up because your hands are on the wheel. How many of you, think in your head, are commuting right now? Right now. How many of you are commuting? A fair amount. My guess is you're commuting, driving and or in some sort of public transportation. You're running, so you're kind of commuting actually. Or you're exercising, and you might be on the treadmill, so you're still kind of commuting too. What this chapter talks about is utilizing that time, utilizing your transit time, your commute time. And I'm even going to put this out a bit further and just say utilize your time in general. Doing the dishes, you got to do the dishes, boom, put on your headphones, listen to a podcast. You got to fold the laundry, boom, put on your headphones, listen to a podcast. You got to sit outside and wait for, no, how about this? I got my windshield fixed and I had to sit in the windshield fixer place for like 30 minutes. Boom, read a book. That is utilizing your time. And in this chapter, Aubrey Marcus is speaking specifically about utilizing your drive time, your commute time. And he says there's 2 things that he touches on here, kind of strategies. One is mindfulness. You've heard me talk about mindfulness. You've heard people talk about mindfulness. It's just being present, being here and now. Think of being in a conversation and actually being involved in the conversation, not thinking of what's going on over there, back there, what happened last night, what's going to happen tomorrow. It's actually being in that conversation. And then mindfulness and mindfulness. So what are you filling your mind with? Utilize that time. This chapter gives you resources to utilize that time. It gives you several different podcasts. Look, I want to be that source for you. This is my mission. My mission is to teach. My mission is to entertain and educate and inspire and be the resources that you need in a fun way, in an entertaining way. I'm like kind of, shh, don't tell anyone. I'm kind of tricking you into reading and learning. Shh, don't tell anyone, okay? But in this chapter, Aubrey gives you sources, but AMX is your source, people. AM Excellence every Monday through Friday. I live stream it on Facebook.com/Charlie Spaniard, 6:30 a.m. This is like synthesis of valuable information and knowledge. Synthesis for you to do just this, to utilize your time. Drive time, alive time. The next time you're sitting there thinking, oh man, put in a stinking podcast. Or if you're at a mechanics or something and it's taking so long, you're like, oh man, get out a book and start reading. Oh, the next chapter. Facebook Livers, let's get it in right now. Doing work. Chapter number 7 in Own the Day, Own Your Life, doing work. I love it. I love hard work. So many moons ago, I read a book, and in that book, they talk about a lot about Greek society, and they talk about the happiness of excellence. And the happiness of excellence is the joy that you get from doing your best. The happiness of excellence. I put forth my best, right? Excellence was my guide. Excellence was my North Star. I feel good about it. If you've ever done something to the best of your ability, you know what that's about. You know what that means. That is the happiness of excellence. So I started thinking, and I love reading and learning and listening, and then thinking like, how can I use that for me? Or how does that relate to me? Or do I agree with it 100%? Or do I think of it a little bit differently? And upon letting that saturate, happiness of excellence, I also started thinking about this thing that I get in my life, the happiness of hard work. If you're a wrestler, if you're a fighter, if you're a grappler, any athlete really, but for me, it's those, and because that's what I know best, that's what I'm drawn to. Imagine like the last practice you went to, right? Whether you're an old and out of shape dude right now, or whether you're still training, right? Think of that last session you went to, that last practice, that maybe it's that last fight you had, or that last grappling, or that last wrestling match. You know when you're like soaked in sweat, and your biceps are like bulging, they feel like they're gonna pop. You're like, you're trying to like regulate your breathing and bring down your heart rate, and your whole body just feels like this finely tuned, like highly pushed to its level machine. That's the happiness of hard work. That right there is the happiness of hard work. And that's what I'm talking about. It's an idea that I've thought of, like again, from the happiness of excellence, I started thinking about the happiness of hard work. That's it right there. Chapter 7 is all about doing work and the good benefits of doing work, both physically and mentally. Now, the next bullet point that I'm going to talk about is from an episode that came out on Thursday, and it's with my friend and client, Dave Wagner. And you've heard me talk about Wags over and over and over again. You've seen the videos on Facebook Live. He's a friend. He's a client. I work with him professionally. We're friends personally. He's transformed his life over the past 2.5 years. But I want to put this out there too. It has not been sunshine and rainbows. It has not been sunshine and rainbows at all. It's ups and downs and good times and bad times and all of these like just lefts and rights and ebbs and flows and weaves and this. It's not just stinking sunshine, right? When you're whatever path you're in right now, you know, look at your ideal, right? I'm looking at The Rock. I'm looking at Jocko Willink. That's who I'm looking at, Joe Rogan. I'm looking at those guys, right? Even for them, it's not sunshine and rainbows. Even for them, there's perspectives and levels, right? When you get to the UFC, oh, you're the best, you're one of the best in the world, you're in the UFC. Yeah, well, guess what? There's like 5 or 10 levels in the UFC. And then there's Conor McGregor levels. So, and when Conor McGregor gets to the top of that level, then he's looking at like Ronaldo and The Rock. So it's all perspective. You know, I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and he was on with Steven Tyler. And they were talking about, I believe it's Joe Perry, who's in the band Aerosmith. And they were both praising him, saying how great of a musician he was. And Rogan, this is Joe Rogan, right? This is Joe Rogan, the guy that we all listen to. And he said, oh, every time I get a text from him, I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe I just got a text from him. That's Joe Rogan talking about another human being. So that goes to show you that there are levels, there are perspectives, there are ups and downs for everyone. And it's never just smooth sailing. It's never just done. You've never just made it and stopped. It's always, if you have this mindset, if you have this ambition, this drive, this fire, this energy to get there, I know for me personally, I'm not going to speak for everyone, I know for me personally, it ain't going to die. I'm going to die before it dies. It's going to die with me. It's not going to quit before I quit. I'll quit. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'll quit before it quits. No, we are one and the same, right? So you will keep going. The hard work never ends. You just stinking love the hard work, to touch on the last segment. But this episode was with Dave Wagner, who's lost over 100 pounds, who trains, who changed his lifestyle, his nutrition. But again, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are good times and there are bad times. And in this episode, he talks about a very bad time. A very bad time that hit him out of nowhere, and it lasted several months. So you're on whatever journey you're on, right? Whatever fight you're fighting, you need to listen to this episode, and you need to hear a person who has lost over 100 pounds, who has transformed his life, but who also still deals with the crap. because it never goes away, people. You need to listen to this episode. And one of the tidbits, one of the pieces of the nuggets that he gives is this, quote, we just chat, talk about life. Goods and bads, ups and downs. You need that. Whether it's a therapist, a psychiatrist, or just friends and family, it's good to vent about what's going on and have another perspective shine a light on what you're feeling. That's it, people. Get it out of you. Get it out of you. Every morning on AM Excellence, it's therapy for me. I journal every day. I just dawned on me that it is journaling. Every day I'm getting it out of me on air. You don't have to create a show. You don't have to do a daily show. But talk to someone. Sit down and have a conversation. Get an ice cold glass of water. I'm even going to say get a cold soda once a week. Just talk. Get it out of you. Don't talk smack. Don't gossip. Right? Be impeccable with your word. Let's remember that agreement, right? Be impeccable with your word. But get it out of you. Seek advice. Seek wisdom from those people around you. And the last bullet point of the week, and this is going to culminate what I learned this week, and it's also going to trajectorize me into the future, because like I started this episode out saying, I was down in DC at this Muster 005 event with Jocko Willink and the rest of the Echelon Front team, the guys who wrote Extreme Ownership. I had one-on-one time with Jocko, with Leif Babin, with Dave. Like, it was tremendous. It was absolutely tremendous. But one of the things so I did last Friday's AM Excellence 485 was all about my experience. And granted, it was 8 minutes, so it was boom, boom. It was pretty rapid fire. But I picked out like 5 things that I took away from the first day and a half of that event. And it's not content from the event. It's more like this experience. This is what I'm taking from this experience. And one of the things, and I say this in the PDF, quote, I'm not going to... Do I have to quote myself? Do I have to say quote? No, I just say it, right? Yeah, because I wrote it. Favorite practice I'd recommend employing. Identify people whom you aspire to be like, whom could elevate you in your life, with whom you resonate strongly. Then set out to form a relationship with them. Identify those people. You remember when you were a kid and like you had sports heroes? Or you like read a book or you saw a movie and like they were your hero. Well, I've never stopped being that kid, right? I still have heroes. I still read books and want to meet the authors and do meet the authors because I reach out to them. But you've got to earn that. You've got to put in the work. The years and years and years and years and years of hard work. You've got to look them in the eyes. You've got to look them in the eyes. Look, success knows success. Success leaves clues, both the things you got to do, but also it leaves clues. You take a successful person and you look them, and they look me dead in the eyes. And my eyes will tell you, I will do whatever you tell me to do because I trust you because you're at a level of success that I aspire to be. Find those people. Meet those people. Show those people that you are you. Develop that relationship with those people. Don't let up. It's not easy. You might have to go a year or two. I won't meet The Rock. I don't know. If I meet The Rock within 5 years, I'd be surprised. Might be 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 years. I don't know. But it's out there. And in the meantime, I better be dang well worthy of meeting The Rock. I better be dang well worthy of him giving me his time. Is that like crazy thought? Yeah, it's crazy. He's the biggest movie superstar in the world. It don't matter none, folks, because we have the happiness of hard work, and we're going to get after it. So employ that practice. Identify those people. I don't care if you use the word hero. I don't care what word you say. Just say, I really like that person. I want to meet them. And then set out on a path to meet them. That's it. Surround yourself with the best. Whew. This has been what I learned this week. I sincerely hope you appreciate the content. The book, Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. It's an uber fun read, super practical read, a bunch of daily practices. It is about owning the day. So there's a bunch of daily practices to employ, to own the day, and then own your life, as well as all the other content. I hope you sincerely appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please hop onto iTunes. Do me a favor and subscribe. Let's help grow this show. Let's help spread this idea of lifelong learning. Let's all get tough, right? And let's bring back. We're not bringing sexy back. We're bringing reading back. That's it, folks. We're bringing reading back. We're bringing learning back. CharlieSpaniard.com. Check out what I got going on. And if you're looking to book an event, I'm going to say a speaking event, but I mean an event of energy, an event of knowledge, of wisdom, of experience, of storytelling, of fun, of education, of nuts and bolts, of this is what you do to get where you want to get to. If you want one of them, go to charliespaniard.com/booking. Let's talk. Be bold, my friends. And the crowd goes wild. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the content for today. I'm going to upload this quick, move on to my next task, and then in a little bit, I got to do another live stream, or I got to do another episode here in a little bit. And I really prefer to do, thank you, Joey. Joey, I'm glad I saw your name there, because I was thinking, like, how many of these names are still there? Is anyone still listening to me, or am I just talking to myself, essentially? But the reason I do these episodes as live streams is because it makes you on. It puts you on. Imagine how hard you wrestle in the room, and then you go, like, to the tournament, to the match. It, like, elevate you. You're like extra on. This is your one shot. If I was recording this episode without a live audience, I would have probably stopped and restarted. I don't even know. I would have stopped and restarted or had to edit, or it's just so much easier for me to do in front of a live audience. So thank you all very much for being there. And then, like I said, I'm going to be putting up a Spanish episode here in a little bit. Eric's here too. Yes. I got at least 2 people still here. All right. So I'll see you in here. Maybe I'll see you here in a little bit for the Spanish episode. If not, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for AM Excellence. Where are we at? 487. 500's coming up soon. Whoop, whoop. All right, folks. See you.